It is now time for our Shore Local segment. And we have the one and only publisher and editor of Shore Local magazine with us, the one and only Cindy Furch.
Thanks so much,
Did I pronounce that right?
You did.
Always
and it's
ask
a really
that.
hard one. It rhymes with church. Furch church, but
Furch.
spelled completely differently.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
All right.
it's a weird one.
So thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to be with us today.
Thanks, Ray. We're really excited, and we have an announcement that Shore Local is going to be broadcasting here as part of Raymond's show, The Light with Raymond Tyler, every Saturday at 6 o'clock, and our host is going to be Kimmy Schurig, also known as Kimmy Cocktail. So we're really excited and thankful that Kimmy's going to host the show. Kimmy's great. You probably know her from Two Chicks and a Chef, which she did a fantastic job with. And we have a great guest here today. Also, we have Ms. Wheelchair New Jersey, who was Shore Local's hometown hero this week. Kathy Ford. She is amazing. She's Atlantic City 911 dispatcher. She's actually a graduate of Stockton.
Yep.
Welcome, Kathy.
Thank you.
Okay, Kimmy, I'm going to let you take over.
Thank you very much for the introduction. I don't know what Cindy and Bob were thinking about giving me the mic, but I'll gladly take it from them. So I just want to first say thank you. And I know we've had a lot of messages about what's going on with Two Chicks and a Chef. We actually will be going out of Tony Luke's in Sicklerville Live. He is actually building us our own studio as we speak. So we will be doing that along with Shore Local News. They will be our main sponsor there. So I want to thank Tony Luke Jr. so much. He is so grateful and giving. We also have another huge announcement, which I guess I don't know. Yeah, we can announce. Chowder Fest, which is their 30th anniversary year, will be held in Beach Haven, I believe, right? Mm-hmm. So I will be emceeing the event with a very big celebrity guest MC host, which you will have to read Shore Local News to find out about that. But more importantly, we have Miss Wheelchair New Jersey here. So I asked you before if there were any questions, and you said, nope, you're pretty much an open book. So I think that's awesome. I love the crown.
Thank you. I think I wear it well.
You do, absolutely. So for those of you that are tuning in live, you can see it right there on Shore Local News. It's live. So I understand you are a 911 dispatcher.
Yes.
And I heard you say, oh, it's not that important of a job. I don't know if you know, but I'm in a relationship with a police officer, and they adore you guys. I mean, they can't do their job without you.
Right.
So, one, I think you should give yourself seriously a lot more credit than you do.
Thank you. I think a lot of people don't realize that without the information from us, the policemen, the firemen, the ambulance, they wouldn't know. I've had this discussion with businesses in the past that without us, you don't know who's having a heart attack. You don't know where the fire is. You don't know who has the weapon, and we're not really represented enough as being first responders. But yet, if it wasn't for us answering the calls, the first responders, as they know it, wouldn't have the information they need. So,
and I think recently, Cindy, we just covered in Longport that the dispatchers, they were actually given an award as well. I believe it was during the shooting back in October, and they were given awards to the dispatchers because they needed to know what was going on. And you stay on the line with people. You asked, do you want me to stay on the line with you? Yes. And I just think that's so great. I mean, and especially with, your disability, you're working.
Right.
And I know a million of people that would just say, nah,
right.
I'm going to sit back, collect my disability check. You're working.
And a lot of people, one of the things that I do like about doing 911 is you're behind a mic. No one knows who I am. No one knows, you can pass me on the street and have your thought. But when you're calling 911 and you need help, guess what? You're talking to that girl that you just passed on the street and gave her a little side eye, like, oh, what does she know? But when you're in an emergency, I'm the one that helps you. And I'm actually the one, I like to think that I know a lot about Atlantic City, a lot of streets. I know when people give me addresses, when to ask for an apartment number and when not to.
Right.
So that saves 3 seconds off a call, and I don't think people understand that. But I know a lot more than I look like I know, and being a 911 dispatcher, I'm allowed to share my knowledge without being judged. So I love it.
That's so disheartening to hear. I mean, just hearing that, when you're walking out on the street, or, that people, give you side eye. I mean, even with social media, I think Cindy knows I've been blocked because I go after, as I call them, keyboard warriors. It's
Right.
like, okay, you're going to say this here, but would you say this
Right.
to my face? And, looking at your husband, I'm pretty sure not too many people would say, hey, don't say this about my wife in front of me or I'm going to knock
Right.
you out. But
Right.
you handle it well. I mean, I think you
You have to learn to.
Yeah.
This didn't come easy. This didn't come overnight.
Right.
Nothing's going to stop me. I'm actually from North Jersey. I came down to actually go to Stockton.
Okay.
And I told my parents I wasn't coming home. So you kind of have to have that mentality and that fight and drive to not let people stop you. So whether you get the side eye on the street or not, keep going. It's kind of convenient that because of my disability, I do have a frozen statue appearance. So as the years have progressed, I can't really see people's side eyes as well because I'm focused what's ahead of me.
Right.
So it kind of does help in a way, but you can say what you want and think what you want, but at the end of the day, I know who I am and I know what I have to do, so I'm going to focus on what I want. And if you want to judge me, then that's your loss. I don't really think that, one of the recent things is everyone looks at disabled people and say, oh, you inspire me. I just actually had someone come up to me a couple of weeks ago, know nothing about me, and say, okay, you inspire me. That's great, but you don't know me.
Right.
So there's certain comments that I kind of take, and I'm like, well, if you got to know me, yes, you can use the word inspire, but if you don't know anything about me, how do I inspire you? Because I'm disabled, and that's how people kind of view, people that are disabled, one extent or the other. It's like, okay, you're out in the open, and oh, you inspire me. Well, if you knew I was a 911 dispatcher and I'm Miss Wheelchair, New Jersey, okay, yes, call me an inspiration.
Right.
So it's people's views are what they are, but I can change, one person at a time and maybe hopefully influence, a different thought process for people.
And you do that. I mean, we all know that you won this great crown, and not all, which is amazing. I mean, I don't think even I would have the guts to even try to do it. With pageants, I watched my sister do it, and it's a lot of hard work, and a lot of trying to get sponsorships and things like that. But you do have a platform,
Yes.
from what I understand.
Yes.
And it's regarding with handicap
Yes.
spots, I believe.
Handicap parking. It's
Okay.
called Don't Block the Spot.
Okay.
It's an educational approach to educate those who are non-disabled and who are also disabled. And I also just want to point out that we are people with disabilities. Another common misconception is that we're disabled people. But the important part is that we're people first.
Right.
Like you're, a female with brown hair. First is that you're a female and then you have brown hair. So we are people with disabilities. And it's an educational approach as far as educating those who have disabilities and those who do not have disabilities, who are usually the ones who incorporate the laws as far as making handicap spaces what they are. There is a law that it has to be 96 inches, and then there has to be a 5-foot zero zone, which is not always the case. And I have spoken to some people in lawmaking that have made certain areas what they are, and I expressed to them that these spots are not adequate, and they tell me that they're legal. There's a difference between being legal and being feasible and barrier-free.
Right.
I invite anyone listening to this, watching this, I will invite you into my van. I will give you a wheelchair to ride in, and I will have my lovely escort take us to a place that the handicap spots are not barrier-free and not completely accessible. And I welcome anyone who wants to be in my van and get out in the rain. It has to be a rainy day because you have to get soaked and understand the complete importance of being able to get in and out of a vehicle with no issues in the pouring rain.
I would like to do that.